not connected. I'm waiting for all the Facebooks have come on. YouTube is on. Twitch and LinkedIn are still thinking about it.
Okay.
So if I go to, I'm going to open up a whole new browser for these and just test it. Show channel. Oh, probably have to be logged in. Yep.
I'm learning here.
Yeah, this is my first time using Restream IO, so I'm also learning.
Okay. That's cool. We're learning together. So what's the temp like there where you are?
It has actually been a little bit moderate today. You're in New York, right?
Actually, I'm in South Florida.
Oh, I thought. Oh, you're
from New York.
Yes.
I see clients in New York, but I live in Florida. So I'm like,
yeah, your page still says New York.
Yeah.
So it's 52 right now. It was freezing cold last week, but it's gotten a lot better.
I can't complain about my weather at all. I mean, like this morning was a little bit dark, but now it's like, the sun is coming out, so it gets warmer. It goes up to like 75, sometimes 80.
Yeah. Which is awesome, I'm sure. This is probably the best time of year for Florida.
Well, yeah, if you want to like visit, I tell people like if you want to go to Disney World or something, like this is a good time to come because you don't want to go to Disney in the summertime.
Yeah, it's miserable.
Yeah, it is very miserable. But this time of year for Disney is perfect. Now, if you want to go to the beach, though, like if you want to come to South Florida and do the beach, it's still okay, but you probably won't want to get in the water, or go in the pools because they're cold. So just depends what you want to do.
Last year, for New Year's, we came and stayed at Destin, and the bay was foggy like the entire time we were there.
Oh.
But it was still good. Like, it was a good vacation. Good to get out.
I have not been to Destin, but that's about a 10-hour drive from where I am.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Florida is huge.
Yes.
It is massive. Like, people will be like, do you know this place? Or I'm coming to Florida to visit. And I'm like, where are you? They're like, Tampa, Destin. I can't see you because that's too far.
Too far.
Way too far. Yeah. Like, I drove to Tampa once and I was like, I don't think I'll do that again. I don't know. I drove by myself. It was 5 hours.
All right, I've got all the URLs. Now I'm just putting together some of the text for each one. Oh, I'm also curious to see if my site is working because I've got it embedded on my site.
Oh.
It's working on it. Nah, it says it's offline.
Okay.
That's a bummer. I don't know why that's not working. I'll have to get with the Restreamer folks and ask.
All right. And then once you send me that link, then I can copy and paste that place. So that's really cool. So like you're just streaming live. So for StreamYard, do you have subtitles on it as well? Is that a feature on there?
You mean like live subtitles?
Mm-hmm.
No, it doesn't have that. As a matter of fact, I don't know that I've seen a service with that. That's pretty high end.
Okay, so it's usually after you record something, then you'll be able to add that. Okay.
Yeah. Now you can't do like overlays. It's not what you're asking. You could do like overlays. So you can have like a URL at the bottom, which actually I need to put to join us live. URL at the bottom, but you can put different, like your logo, and you can overlay the entire screen with an image. So like I could make a image that's the size of the screen, and at the bottom just have a URL. Of course, they can't click it, but they could go and type it.
Okay.
All right, come on the show.
And I believe I saw Tony and a few other names. So who else is joining? Just
Yeah, let me check and just see if some of them. No, we're still the only ones. So Tony and I talked about it a little bit, and she got a scare because somebody on Facebook said they were going to do something today, and like I'd mentioned it to her. She saw that, she came back and she said, "Okay, we got to do this thing." So we've kind of been playing tag back and forth, but finally she's like, I just said, "Hey, what time? I'll go set the whole thing up." So she said 9:30. I was like, "Okay." So here we are. Tony, you, another guy named Anthony. Oh, there's actually some people on. Dorit, you'll have to forgive me. I haven't had a chance to listen to you pronounce your name correctly. I think that's the Norwegian way. I'm hoping I'm right. So their comments are starting to drop in. Xylena, Merry Christmas to you too. Dorit says she can't stay here that long, but she'll watch the recording later. That's cool. We're just really hanging out. So these are Seneca. These are some of the folks from my Facebook group that I have, where I'm showing them like how I'm building my personal brand, etc. So it's really cool for you guys to drop in and see us. We got more co-hosts coming. It's only 9:20. We've started early.
Yeah.
I don't know, in your client, can you see the comments? I've never seen it from your perspective.
From my perspective on StreamYard or Facebook?
StreamYard, yes.
From StreamYard, I don't see anything. I'm not sure if there's something that I have to click into to be able to.
It would maybe on the side, like I don't know if it says like comments or anything like that over on the side for you.
Private chat with the host and other guests. Is there a way for me to share my screen?
Yes, you can share your screen. That should be down at the bottom.
Okay. All right, so I'm clicking in share your screen, but the button doesn't click. That says share. Okay, okay, I have it. So let me see. Share and see what you see. Do you see?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I can see it. As a matter of fact, it shows up as that. It's like another stream participant. Okay, so all you have is private chat.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me stop sharing. All right. And if I click out of here, am I going to lose it, or am I able to kind of go between? Okay, so far so good. Looks like I'm able to go between pages.
Okay, so I have the links ready. I will put it in the private chat. I'm hoping that you'll be able to copy and paste from there.
Let's see.
Oh, it messed it up.
That's not how it looked when you typed it.
Yeah, I've got it, multiple lines and stuff. So let me open up email, and I will just reply all.
Mm-hmm. This is cool.
Yeah, I'm really I'm really happy with how this is turning out.
Yeah.
The technology, like I've been waiting a long time for this. I was doing lives through YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and I would grab the link and put it on my site, and then
Mm-hmm.
activate the page on my site, and people would come. I was doing that back in 2012. So
Wow.
this is definitely exciting for me to be able to do this kind of stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I just got to copy Anthony's email address. Okay, so you had asked. So Dancing Diana may be able to come. I don't know. Brent Wong and Matt Crump. Matt Crump, I don't know if he'll be able to show up. So we'll see who else. I know Tony definitely should be within the next 6 minutes. So
Okay. Cool.
all right. Okay, so now I've got to go to all my posts, like Facebook and LinkedIn especially, and
Right.
go post that same text.
Okay.
And I just sent it to you in an email. All right.
Okay. Got it.
All right, I'll just pin that to the top.
Oh.
And yeah, we're streaming live. Okay. Well, almost got all the links published in time to start at 9:30 as we had planned. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know that pressure, definitely. But we're here, so it's good.
Let me edit. All right. Now I want to go find where Tony's post is. All right. Okay, that is it. I think I'm finally caught up. So
Awesome.
now I will try try to catch up and see if we've got more comments. Yep, 2 more comments. Hey, they're both mine where I was posting the links. Alrighty. So now I feel like it's official. I mean, we've been live this whole time, but now we're really live and can get on with it. I need to find out where Tony is and why she hasn't joined in yet. She's technically late. Oh, she said jumping in soon, but that was 20 minutes ago. All right. So, tell me, Seneca, tell me some of the things that you have enjoyed in the past the most about Christmas, like favorite Christmas, your family traditions, things like that.
Okay. Well, first of all, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy Wednesday if you don't celebrate Christmas, or Festivus for the rest of us. So, your question was, can you repeat that?
Yep. So what's your favorite Christmas memory? Would be the first one.
Okay. I had to really think about that, but once upon a time when I was a kid, my family used to do like Christmas dinners or gatherings, and like a bunch of kids would come over. So I remember like getting like Nintendo for the first time, and Genesis, Sega Genesis, and like everybody getting together. And there were only 2 controllers, so we were like sitting around each other taking turns playing with that, or like getting Barbies and stuff like that, and everybody playing with our new toys. So that would probably.
How many kids?
It was just me and my brother, siblings, and then I don't know, maybe it would like be like 6 kids sometimes. Like all my parents' friends had like 2 kids each. So yeah, not a lot of kids. Sometimes it was like 6 kids. Hello.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
We can hear you very well. Awesome.
Yeah, so that was about it that I could remember for fun times. What about you?
I think so. So I definitely enjoyed Christmas. I think the best Christmas present I can remember is a little electronic game that I got. Oh no, actually, let me change that. My Commodore 64. So I got a Commodore 64 when I was in 9th grade, I think, and so and from that, I taught myself how to program. And after that, the sky was the limit. So, yeah. What about family tradition? Do you have a typical tradition?
Traditions. Well, originally my family's from the Caribbean. They're from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So traditionally, what Caribbean people do is they do a lot of cleaning, everything, cleaning. New curtains, new bedspreads, new pajamas, and a lot of baking, baking cakes, and pastries, and stuff like that. So I'd say our traditions were like just preparing for Christmas, like getting ready for Christmas, like getting all this new stuff for the house, cleaning. Yeah. And music. Music is a big thing. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Caribbean.
Yes.
Rich? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, we have like different kinds of music that we play at Christmas time. And people call it parang. So it's like soca music, but it's like Christmassy soca music. And that's what
I'll have to look that up. As a matter of fact, actually, if you find some and you can share your screen, if you also share the audio, you can play it live on the feed.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can do that.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Merry Christmas.
I used to live in St. Thomas for a little bit.
Okay. So you know about the way that they do in the Caribbean?
I don't know about that. We don't. There was always like a big get-togethers and lots of drinking and eating, but
yeah,
eating. I think it. I wasn't. I was with Americans, mainland people for the most part. So
okay.
But no, I love the music down there. I'd love to hear what you have.
Okay. So drinking and eating is a big part of it, and something haranguing. It's like going house to house and visiting all your friends and your family. And everywhere that you go, you have to drink something or eat something. Like if you don't. So like that's what you're doing. You're going from it's like, I guess I could describe it like a bar crawl.
Yeah.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. Oh, he one-upped me with the bow tie. I should be wearing my bow tie.
I thought you were going to wear a Christmas sweater.
Where's your Christmas apparel?
It is.
Woo!
But it's Wednesday.
That.
It's Wednesday. I couldn't go without wearing a bow tie.
Of course.
You guys all know about my Wednesday bow tie story, don't you?
No, hit us up.
Okay. So back when I was working as a systems administrator, the IT department was in the basement. And it was very dark. It was very gloomy. And so I decided one day, I was like, you know what? On Hump Day, I'm going to bring up the spirits in this department.
Aww.
And I figure what better way to do it than to wear a bow tie. And so I came in the first Wednesday and I wore a bow tie and people started smiling. People started asking me, why are you wearing a bow tie? Just 'cause. And so I noticed the effect that it had on people. And so every Wednesday for the past 5 years, I've been wearing a bow tie. And it always brings up people's spirits. Always.
That's interesting. You never would think that a bow tie would do that.
I know.
So I
cool.
wore a bow tie for like 4 years straight, almost every single day if I went out.
That's awesome.
I don't know that I lifted up spirits as much as maybe I should have just done it once a day. Yeah, since then I've gone, I don't know, Tony, has it been like 4, 5, 6 months maybe? I've gone back to totally lazy casual.
It always made me smile, Richard.
So we were just going around with Christmas traditions, and Seneca was telling how in the Bahamas, St. Vincent, how they practiced. Sorry. And I should know better because I've been to Haiti a number of times, so I familiarized myself with the area. But so Tony, what's your favorite tradition?
Ooh, Oh my gosh. See, it seems to change every year. I think, I'm trying to think. Come back to me. Let me think on that one. I don't,
Okay.
there's nothing we consistently do anymore, other than getting together and cooking, everything seems to change. Even the food we eat has changed as we get healthier. And we all are vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free.
I was going to say, Seneca, I guess you guys definitely in January had the, like, everybody's goes on a diet. Because if you spend two weeks, Christmas to New Year's, like walking around eating and drinking the whole time, like diet's definitely the thing you're going to do in January.
You'd be surprised though. Like, I'm just so amazed that you don't really see a lot of obesity there as much as they're eating. You're walking a lot. You're physical a lot.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Right.
They got built-in Stairmaster, the hills, walking.
Oh yeah.
I used to walk down those hills. Oh my gosh. And walk up them.
So you had a gym, right? Built in. You didn't need
Yeah.
it.
Santa Claus still comes and I'm 35 years old. That's my tradition.
Oh, nice. Does he
Yeah.
go down the chimney?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So Anthony, what about you? What's one of your favorite traditions?
My absolute favorite is every Christmas Eve I get together with my in-laws on my wife's side, and we all get together and we have a big fish cookout. So we make because they're Italian, commonality is usually on Christmas Eve you have fish. So we have seafood risotto, we have smoked salmon, any type of fish, we do it up, and then we drink grappa all night. And it's so much fun. It's just bonding between humans through food, drinking, and love.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I actually missed
holiday-
it last night for the first time in I
Oh
don't know how
no.
many years.
Were you traveling?
So it's basically an hour away. And last night my son got a fever, and because my in-laws were traveling to Italy tomorrow, we didn't want to get them sick, so we actually spent our first Christmas by ourselves.
Oh wow.
Me, my wife, and my son. And my son was a bit heartbroken, but I think that all changed when he opened up his gifts this morning.
Is he not up yet?
Oh, he was up.
Oh, okay.
He was up at 5 a.m. And so I took first shift, and my wife is now on shift.
Well, thanks for taking a moment to join us on the show.
Of course. So
What about you, Richard? What's your tradition?
So I'm a theater rat. Like, if I weren't married, I would be in the theater like 2 or 3 times a week.
Die Hard.
Yeah, I just like the experience of sitting back in a chair, eating, not the best, and watching a movie. It is just not the same as at home. So I'm definitely the theater guy. So during this time, I like to find a movie to go to. So we saw Star Wars 9.
How was it?
Really good.
Yeah.
No
so
spoilers, please.
Yeah, I won't spoil you, but I can definitely say this: I'm not the guy. I'll sit back and criticize technical things that are just not logically possible, but I'm not the guy that will get mad because the director took it in a different direction, unless it's completely out of character. Which this isn't a spoiler, but I think Luke's character in 7 was out of character. I mean, in 6 he had gone to his dad, who was Darth Vader, and turning back to the good, and then they won, and now he's going to go because of Kylo Ren. He's going to go pout, and hide out on an island. Like it just didn't make a lot of sense.
Mm.
But anyway, so that's probably the only criticism I think I have of the recent Star Wars, because I'm just not that kind of guy to just sit around and poo-poo on a director or whatever they did. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good.
What about the Jumanji movie?
I haven't
Have
seen
you
it.
seen that one?
No, I saw the first one, but I haven't seen the next one.
It's got Kevin Hart and the guy from The Rock, or Dwayne or whatever. It should be funny,
Dwayne
I'm
Johnson,
thinking.
yeah.
Dwayne Johnson, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't he in the first one? I mean, this is number 2, right?
No, Robin Williams was he did the original.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Mhm.
I mean, didn't they just have Jumanji like a year or 2 ago?
Yeah, they did.
Number
like
2,
the
I think
second
it was.
one. Yeah. So this is
I
just
think
like
this
a
is a
whole new
remake of the first one, I'm assuming.
creation.
Yes. Yeah, I think the one they did a couple years ago is a remake of one a long, long time ago.
Yep.
But now, don't they have another one?
Now-
Isn't this the second one
This is
with
perfect.
Dwayne?
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So today, the other thing we do is we play games. So today, we went last night to Barnes and Noble, bought 2 new games, and there's one that's really complicated. You got to lay it all out, and it takes time to build it, and it changes as you do it, and then whatever, it's going to take probably weeks, but. So we'll lay around today, stay home, play games, watch movies, eat food.
Love it.
Nice.
So I had a whole list of those questions. Where are they at?
Where are you guys located in the country
I'm in
right now?
Florida.
Oh, nice.
Nice. I'm in
So we're
the Great
all
White North,
envious. Oh,
Canada.
Wow, Burr.
Burr is right. I need to get down to Florida ASAP.
You know, a lot of Canadians are here in the winter.
Yeah, I know.
All the retired
Oh,
seniors.
don't worry. You'll be seeing me soon.
Like they take over the beaches.
that's
I have no
funny.
doubt. I have no doubt. I mean, I've been trying to get my wife to move to California for a long time. Being in tech, I know I can probably make some really good money out there and have some
Right.
lovely weather all the
Yeah.
time.
San Diego, man. Woo! I almost moved there. They're in Nashville. They almost sucked me in. Mhm.
Come on down. Actually,
Yeah.
come on up, because you're further south than we are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Where are you at, Tony?
I'm currently in Houston. So it's actually pretty nice here. It's been really, really nice weather actually last couple days. So I can't complain. But I don't have a white sandy beach. I have to go to Galveston, and that's not white and sandy. So but it's 45 minutes away, which isn't bad. So to have the ocean nearby.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I found the song, but you
Ooh.
promised to dance.
Okay.
The Tony will definitely dance.
So this song is not from where I'm from. It's not from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's from Trinidad. Have you guys heard of Trinidad?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So this is like a traditional Christmas song. So if you're going paranging to people's house, you're probably going to hear this song. So let me just see. I'm going to share my screen and share audio. I'm learning this technology stuff as we go.
I know. It got me a little wild. Like, we have these 2 tech guys, and then I'm just like, what link? How do I share this?
So you guys see it? Do you see the
Yeah.
screen?
Uh-huh.
Okay, wonderful. I did it. Yay! All right.
So you need a freelancer. The obvious choice is going to Fiverr and finding designers, programmers,
I don't have to prepare because I know the time is near. I feel a change of climate flowing through the atmosphere. Christmas song keep playing, foreign group getting in line. I hope Santa bring me exactly what I have in mind. I want a piece of pork. I want a piece of pork. I want a piece of pork from the Christmas. I don't want no money cook. Keep your color low. a piece of pork for me Christmas. I want a piece of pork. I want a piece of pork. I want a piece of pork for me Christmas. I don't want no money cook. Give your color look. I want a piece of pork for me Christmas.
Wait, okay,
Wow. I want to know the story behind that.
okay. Wait, let me see. Let's see. All right, is it still going? Did I stop?
Yeah, you stopped it.
Okay. Woo, I did it! Yay! So, oh, did you understand what he was saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew
want
he wanted a piece of
for
pork.
Christmas. But I don't understand. Like, was he poor? Is that why he wanted a piece of pork? Is it like tradition that you get a piece of pork? Does somebody supposed to bring it to your house? Like, I don't know the story behind it.
So the story is like pork is like the thing to eat.
Okay.
Right? Christmas, holiday time, celebrations, like they will roast a whole pork, like pig.
Nice.
So like with the head on and everything. Kind of like Latin culture too, like some Hispanics, they'll roast a whole pig.
Yeah, Greeks do it as well during their Easter
Yeah, so that's like a
or
huge.
lamb. Sorry.
So if you go to someone's house, right, and they gave you something else, like he's like, I don't want manikou or kalaloo. Manikou is like kind of loamy. And like kalaloo is like it could be either a soup or it's kind of like collard greens.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Your house, like you better like be giving me some pork.
Give me the pork.
Do you have any pork? No. Sorry, I'm not coming.
Right, yeah, basically like give me the good stuff. Like that meant like you had
Are
money
you gonna?
and it meant like that person that's coming to your house, like you're treating them good.
I see.
Yeah.
That was Chopper, everyone.
Hi, Chopper.
Chopper.
He wanted
Chopper.
to make a guest appearance.
So I guess it's a sign of respect for the fact that you give your biggest riches, which is your pork, to your guests.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
Very cool.
There are a lot of stuff like that. You go to people's houses, they're playing that kind of music. If you can tell, it's like soca, but it has like that Christmas, like
Yeah.
jingle, in the background, like bells, whatever. Mm-hmm.
It's funny. So I'm doing renovations, and my HVAC guy, he's Trini, and so maybe I should surprise him with a piece of pork.
Maybe.
You gotta play. You gotta
I don't know
play
how
the
that
music
that
and
would go
dance,
over, but I'd
too.
be like, hey,
Yeah, tell him I know what parang is. He'll be like, parang? Like, yeah, I'm gonna go paranging for Christmas. He'll be like, what do you know about that? You should do
Yeah, so I had to educate myself a little bit. So I did a little Google, and it comes from parranda, from Spanish, which is pretty cool. Because initially I thought you were saying haranguing.
Oh no,
But-
paranging. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me the history.
cool.
Because, like, I don't really know the history behind it.
Okay, well, the first link is from Wesleyan University, so I'm not sure how authoritative that's going to be.
It's not
But-
Wikipedia. Come on,
Yeah, so-
Richard.
The second link is Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is parang is a popular folk music orienting from Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago
Yeah.
that was brought to Trinidad and Tobago by Venezuelan and Colombian migrants. It just keeps going.
Basically, that's it. Venezuela is like very close to Trinidad. Like they can see each other, the islands, they can see across to each other. So a lot of Venezuelans go to Trinidad and just put their music together.
Hey, Sterling Reynolds, man, it's been a long time since I've seen you. 10 years or more, I think. So Merry Christmas to you too. He just dropped a comment on Facebook. There should be a comment there if you want to come join us. Got a webcam. You can hop on for a couple minutes and say hello. Really, really great guy. Worked with him at IO Studio for a number of years. And I think Sterling, also has moved on since then. So
Are you guys in Facebook or are you guys in the StreamYard?
So
Are
you
we
guys
streaming
are
to
only in
Facebook or LinkedIn?
StreamYard.
Or both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in StreamYard. Yeah.
But
Cool.
as the moderator, I have other tools. So like I can see the chat across all like
Okay.
the Facebook and it's streaming on YouTube, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
Twitch?
Yeah.
I never heard of that one.
We need the
I swear they come out with a new one every day.
So Twitch,
Twitch has been
Twitch-
around for a while.
yeah, and it started out as gamers, like
Yeah.
that you could play a game and people would like basically look over your shoulder while you were playing. But it's since then it's expanded to
Mhm.
a lot. Because they just do live streaming, so it's expanded quite a bit.
Hmm.
And I thought, I need to own my name, so all these other platforms I've gone and got my name on them. So Maria, Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you so much for joining in. If you'd like to come on the show and chat, let me know. If you have questions, like we were just talking about traditions, traditional foods and traditional family activities, things that you do. If you have some, drop them in the comments. We will love to talk them up.
So Richard, do you have LinkedIn Live?
No, and it's really weird. So I'm going from
I don't either.
StreamYard to Restreamer,
Right.
and from Restreamer it broadcasts out to everything.
Yeah, you don't need to
and
do that anymore. You can do it right from StreamYard.
Yes, except what was it? Restream has better analytics.
Oh,
So
interesting.
as a matter of fact, and they have a deal right now. Yeah, I can give you a 40% off coupon if you want to use it. It's an amazing deal. The only thing that StreamYard has over them is this ability to put like 4 people together in a live,
Yeah.
or I think I can have like 6 or 8. It's a
I
larger
think
number.
I think it's
Six. I think it's 6.
Is it 6? Okay. Yeah. I have LinkedIn Live and I haven't done multi-streaming yet, but I'm hoping to change that in the new year.
They haven't given me LinkedIn Live yet. I requested it when it first came out. What about you, Richard?
I've requested it. Yeah, I've
Oh,
requested
all
it
of
twice.
Yeah.
I think that when I requested, I didn't have a lot of videos. But Tony, you video all the time.
That's the thing. Like, I video all the time. I used to do Facebook Lives all the time. So the fact that I didn't get it, I was just like, okay, whatever. So I actually prefer to do live video.
Me too. Me too.
But okay,
So,
let's
Tony-
hear like someone's craziest story. Like someone fell off a roof or got hit with a snowball
Oh my
or,
God.
something like that.
I heard one time there was a grandma that got ran over by a reindeer.
two.
Oh, you gotta have a story. There's always a crazy holiday story.
Crazy holiday story.
So my dad beat me when I was little, so I don't have a lot of memories. Like I remember everything up until the beating, and then after that, I forgot everything. I'm just kidding.
I was like, I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, I'm totally joking. Yeah, I've got bad memory. I've lived long enough to forget everything. Seneca or Anthony, what do you guys have?
I was actually gonna say you the part that you were joking about, that was me.
Oh,
So yeah, I didn't have a lot of fond memories, but what I'm trying to do is work past that. I've been dealing with these childhood traumas for the past couple of years, almost 3 years now, and I've been working through it. But in it being Christmas and all, I wanted to try and change that for my children and give them great memories that they can remember and give to their children and give to their families.
how old are your kids?
So I have a 5-year-old and I have a 25-year-old.
Do they all live near you?
My oldest son does live near me. And my 5-year-old lives in the next room. So
He's the one with the fever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
Mm.
he's in really good spirits. He's feeling a lot better. He went out on his new scooter that I just put together this morning, and um, we're about to build some Hot Wheels track.
Oh,
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. I'm looking
Well,
forward to it.
I'm glad you were vulnerable enough to bring that up, because I think that's kind of one of the reasons why we were inspired to do this, was because I had been hearing some stories and having some experiences with other people that people have a lot of hard times around the holidays, and so I think it's good to show that there's both sides, and that we can all come together, and to hear how you move on from that and how you can heal from that. So I think that's really important. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, it was tough for a lot of years, and I wasn't sure how I was going to move forward from it, but there just comes a point in your life where you have to decide, either I'm gonna wallow in my pity, or I'm just gonna move on and deal with all the crap that comes with it. I mean, it's probably one of the toughest things that I've ever done, and I've gone through 5 career changes. And that was, dealing with my my childhood trauma issues was by far the most difficult.
Would you mind sharing? Because I think a lot of people don't know, like, what is the first step, or like a tool or a daily ritual, or when you kind of have that aha moment, what did you start doing to kind of shift that paradigm, or start thinking a new way, not having that victim mentality? Would you mind sharing that with us?
Sure. So, I would have to say that the one thing that I can recommend everyone do is to either look for somebody to help. Reach out to somebody, whether it be a psychologist or a psychotherapist, a coach, even your doctor, like your MD, naturopath, whomever. I had my naturopath help me out, and the first big trauma that I went through, I had to sit in it, and I was sitting there crying for 6 hours. I'll never forget it, because it was such a difficult time. But when you bring up those traumas, people don't realize that your body wouldn't have brought it up if you weren't strong enough to endure it.
Right.
So people need to realize that when it comes up, your body is ready to process. And so you just need to go through the moments of feeling that hurt, feeling that pain, and then letting it go.
Right.
And the hardest part is to let go, and to do it, without any drugs or alcohol, just to feel. Once you've done that, it gives you a sense of freedom.
Right. That's awesome.
Just grow as a human being. And I think that's why ironically, I'm moving over into executive coaching because of this. I'm originally from the tech industry, and I've been in technology for over 15 years, but I see this trauma moving into the workplace, and I had that same feeling that I had in my home as I did with the workplace. And I was like, I need to change this, because I can't see other people going through this same traumatic experience, not just at home, if they are going through it, but at work. I mean, showing up every day, having to deal with a dictatorship mindset. No.
Right. Well, thanks for sharing. I'll tell my crazy story. You want to hear it?
Share.
Okay, it's a Thanksgiving story, but I can't remember how old I was, but we were pretty young, and I used to ski. So I skied at a really young age, and I used to race and everything. And the one year after Thanksgiving, my dad's like, "You guys want to go to Colorado?" And we're like, "Sure." And it was literally like an unplanned trip. And we just hopped in the car. Oh, wait, I was 16. I was 16 because I remember I got my license taken away for the first time and he still let me drive. So we had to take the long drive to Colorado.
The story's getting better.
And then we got there and there was like so much snow and like it was crazy. But so we just ended up taking this like sporadic last minute like trip to, that's probably where I get my spontaneity from. Like I'm just like, "You want to go? Sure, let's go." But yeah, we went skiing in Colorado for the first time and it was pretty awesome. And we sat in the jacuzzi when it was snowing outside and did all the fun stuff. So yeah. That was my crazy story. I'm sure I have more, but that's G-rated.
Yes.
Live stream rated.
Right?
Rated. This is a good conversation. Thank you for sharing, both of you, the different sides of Christmas memories. For those of you who don't know, I'm a licensed therapist. I do online counseling, and I'm mostly do online counseling with professionals. So what you're talking about is absolutely right. You're triggered a lot when it comes to careers and interacting with coworkers and bosses and all that stuff. And like Christmas time can trigger a lot of emotions for people. And it might not even be something bad. It could just be like other people enjoying each other's time can be a trigger for people to remember, what they have or don't have. And even in my childhood, it's probably the reason why I am a therapist now. And what I share with people is like, as you shared, of course, getting therapy to deal with trauma from the past can definitely help you because sometimes you can develop like anxiety or depression. And a way to move forward from certain things and is creating a new normal for yourself, like new traditions. Sometimes when you talk about old traditions, it can trigger people because they remember things from their past. But when I work with people and they've dealt with trauma or they've lost a loved one or something like that, I tell them like, well, okay, what would you like to do now? What would you like to create going forward? What are some new traditions you'd like to make up for yourself or for your family that you actually enjoyed and that will attach some new good feelings to it and some new memories to it? So, for myself, one of those things that I like to do is travel more. This past Thanksgiving, I traveled, went on a cruise with my family. So that felt like a lot better than what I remembered. And I like to keep, doing stuff like that, like traveling over the holidays. So
that's cool.
Or just doing something different. Like that's not traditional. Because it occurred to me why I never get my Christmas cards out. I don't know if you guys deal with this, but like I want to mail Christmas cards and I just don't get them out. And I realize it's because I don't want to. Like I get the cards early and on time.
Who'd have thunk, right?
That's funny.
I'm not doing it. And
yeah, I get them way in advance. And this time I actually had stamps and I still didn't get them. You know what? I just don't want to do it.
I'm very inconsistent with my Christmas carding. I think I sent Richard one last year. Yeah.
And this year I got a Thanksgiving card from Tony.
Yeah.
Of
So
all
my
things.
love is very sporadic, but it's always there.
And then I feel bad because it's like, well, do I send the card still because it's like February? Is it here?
I just got your card and it's February. It must have gotten lost in the mail. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But I was like,
stand out because it came at a different time.
Exactly. So my new tradition is mailing out the holiday cards way after the holidays.
Yeah, I like it. Random holiday cards, like even in the summer, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what we could actually
What
do?
the?
Yeah, so make the card now, mail it out in March, and tell them you're 9 months early.
Right.
Yeah.
Beat you.
Yes, exactly. I beat you to it.
That's funny.
So my sister religiously sends me cards for Christmas and probably just for Christmas. And birthday. And I'm the world's worst at that kind of stuff. So I have a card for her. Like I just didn't. I wrote it out and everything, signed it, put it in the envelope. It's got her address on it. I didn't get a stamp. Like, I know where the stamps are, but every time I would think of it, I would be at the office or something else, and I'd come home, and now I've got home activities, so I forget.
Yeah.
I've still got it. So, sis, if you're watching, like, you, I don't know if I should send it now or just like.
Yeah. Survey your audience. Should we send the cards or not?
I literally have birthday card. One of these birthday cards is for Lila, so for her last birthday, and she's gonna get that with her Christmas present. That's gonna be late too. Yeah.
Anymore. Thank you, guys.
You have to put it on your to-do list. That's the key.
It's still not getting done. I don't want to do it.
Oh my gosh.
So Anthony, you brought up like Tony mentioned earlier, it was really good that you were vulnerable. I didn't have the best of childhoods either. I'm sure everybody could find something or some things. Everybody does. One thing that I learned from who is that guy? The one who did the birth order books. He talked about I can see his picture. I just can't. It's 20 years ago, so that's probably why I can't remember it. But anyway, one of the things he mentioned about childhood memories is he said every childhood has like really bad memories and really good ones, like that on an average. I mean, obviously there are some situations that are a lot worse or a lot better than others, but on average, everybody has really good, everybody has really bad. Our memories aren't, and I've found this to be true. My memory is not accurate. Even I went in the Marines, and I was like in the Marines I was gone for about 10 years before I came back home. And I was driving around with my sister, and I was recounting memories, and she was 2 years older. She's 2 years older than me. And she constantly was correcting me. She's like, no, that's not exactly how that happened. And I realized after about 3 different stories, I always skewed things to poor me. I was abused, not like, I was done wrong. That's the way I really mean it. Like, they did me wrong. They treated me bad. Look at poor little me. And it was an eye-opening moment for me to realize this is a character trait that I have. Like, I am skewing all of my own memories. And that was helpful. Another thing that was really helpful for me was with my own kids, like especially my son Joshua, him growing up, I didn't do the same family traditions, like I wasn't trying to recreate my childhood in him. That's really what I mean. But by me interacting with him and us doing things together, I got to live my own childhood a second time through him. And that healed me tremendously because I got to experience a good, healthy childhood for the most part. Of course, he's going to have his stories about how his dad, did this or that or whatever. But like it was a lot of healing for me to take care of him the way that I had wanted to be taken care of. So that's why I'd ask about your kids, like if you had kids. So I think our kids heal us from our own childhood.
I totally agree. I always think about it as, what would my 5-year-old self do? And so I put myself in my child's shoes, and that causes me to make better decisions, not just for my child, but for myself. It also allows me to be creative, and that spurs innovations and just all around joy.
And bow tie day.
And bow ties. Bow ties for everyone.
I did a post a couple of days ago about suicide, and I had some people reach out to me, and I think it was really interesting that a lot of the stories what I told one of the people that reached out to me was that he told me his story. And so I said, interestingly enough, your story is very similar to mine and to a lot of other people's. And I think what's interesting, what I've learned is that we're all going through things, and our pain is real, but we all have such similar stories in one way or another. And when we share them, I think it brings to the reality that, okay, if this person that looks so happy all the time has gone through the same thing, then there's a way to like get through it for me. And I think it's nice to hear that. I think I used to think like, oh, this is only me, like, you know, going through this. But I think it's interesting to hear. And then some people you would never even imagine, they're so happy and joyful all the time. To hear some of their stories, I don't even know what to say sometimes. So I think it's great that we share and hear other people's stories, because it shows how much we all kind of have something in common, even when it's the not so good times too.
Yeah, so true. I mean, people come to me all the time and they're like, Anthony, you're always so happy all the time. Like I never see you have a bad moment. Well, the thing is that it's because I've been burying it. And I don't let people see it. And only this past year doing a lot of LinkedIn video, it's helped me process that. And it's helped me be true to myself and help me understand what it is that I'm dealing with. And, you know, I encourage a lot of people that will help you. If you get on camera and you start to be vulnerable, you will eventually be vulnerable with yourself.
Right.
That's the golden key. That's the golden nugget. If you
Yeah.
get to that place.
I know it's, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, did you go to therapy while you were getting more vulnerable on camera, or did you do therapy before doing that?
No, I guess I was doing it at the same time. But with being vulnerable, on camera, it allowed me to go through it faster. I mean, I've gone through a lot of, a whole crap load of childhood trauma over the past 2 years, which would normally take a lot of other people, 10 years to go through. I just want to fast track this. I want to process it so this way I can move on and I can give my myself and my family some happy memories and process some happy memories for myself. I don't want to live the rest of my life wallowing in this pain and, continuously shoving it under the rug, if you will, because eventually it'll come out. And when you keep on pushing it off, it comes back with a vengeance. And so the more you push it off, the harder it will be.
Absolutely.
Right.
That is very true. And, everyone is different. Everyone processes different.
Yeah, sure.
Like you were saying, Richard, you had a different memory of your childhood. That's really common to happen in a family. Have you guys heard of a show called This Is Us?
Yes.
Yeah.
I stopped watching it though because it was making me cry too much.
Oh yeah, like
every single time
I watch it, and she loves watching it because she wants to cry.
It's so real. That's why I like it. Like I like how the dynamic is between like the couples and the families, and it's good.
But do you notice how when they do flashbacks, they'll do everyone's different perception of the same? Like,
I don't know if I noticed that.
Like that's what they're doing. It's like they'll go back and do each person's perspective of the same exact scene.
Interesting.
So we all process things differently, and we move through things differently. Whereas since you guys are familiar with it, like for example, Kate, she had a really hard time with her dad's death, and it kind of kept her stuck in life and caused a lot of problems, and with how she felt about herself and relationships. And she's the one that kept the ashes, and she's the one that didn't go away to college and didn't do stuff, while her brothers, they were like out there living life and they became successful. So everyone handles the same situations in a different way, which is okay, but we have to figure out what works for us to be able to move forward and move through it.
Right.
I also think that, and as much as it pains me to say this, everything happens for a reason, and we have to look for the learnings in that pain. And, I truly didn't believe that for years and years and years, but once I started processing through the pain, I started to to realize all those beautiful golden nuggets, that those learnings, and it allowed me to grow. Like I was shocked.
Yeah.
I really was shocked because there's so much learnings behind it.
You sound like you repurposed your pain. Like I tell people that you can repurpose your pain. It's the reason I'm a therapist and a coach. I don't think I would have been had I not gone through the things that I went through. So you're absolutely right. It's like taking what you've experienced and how can I make this something else, something better?
Yeah.
My experience too, a thing that I've seen in myself is twofold. One, I remember when my son was real young and I felt so much pressure. Like I got to say the right thing. I've got to make this moment magical. Like I don't want him to go through what I went through. So I've got to be some superhero, you know, always, every moment has to be amazing. And I remember like waking up one day and like, he was like really happy or something. And I like was thinking back, like, why is he so happy? And I talked to him a little bit. Basically, we had just spent time together. I didn't say anything magical. I hadn't made some big, amazing experience for him. I was just there and we did whatever that moment called for, and he loved it and enjoyed it. And so like that relieved a lot of pressure off of me of having to be something super special. The other thing that I've noticed is memories progress from being bitter. Well, the experience is bitter. And then as we go, that bitterness can turn into bittersweet. And that bittersweet moment, like that I've seen, is where I'm still remembering how something was tragic for me, but I'm making it better for my son or for whoever the next person is, or this particular moment. So I've still got some of that bitter, but I got sweet. And then over time, the bitter actually goes away. And all I have is the sweet. I can still remember the things that happened, but it's kind of like Seneca. I think you phrased it well. Because those things happened, these other really beautiful things, like I made this, like those bad things happened to me and it was out of my control. But these things, I brought this into the world. I'm the one that created this good, and it totally replaces the bitter.
I love that, Richard.
Yeah.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I got chills. So yeah.
I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm loose. Hey, you know what, Richard? I think we should mention. I think one of the biggest learning lessons for me, and Richard has been a witness of this, is not escaping. So I have a tendency to escape to islands or want to get out of a situation or a relationship.
He leaves the country.
St. Thomas?
It's St. Thomas. That's still the country. Not according to President Trump, though.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, let's not make this political, please.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we won't. Trust me. It was more of a joke. Just trust me. So anyways, there's this book called, what is it? When Things Fall by Pema Chodron. Anyways. So when I read this part, and it was about like wanting to go, like, and then being okay with staying where you're at. And like, even Richard and I have had, like, I really truly feel that Richard and I were put in each other's lives to like challenge each other and like take each other to the next level as far as our personal development and professional growth. But, there are many times where like he would challenge me and I was like, I just want to leave. I don't want to sit with this. I don't want to think about it. I just want to escape. I don't want this friendship, But I've realized that is when you have the biggest growth, when you can actually sit with that and not just escape to feel better. So my pleasure, my drug is traveling. Now, I do think that's part of who I am too, but I realized that the unhealthy part was me wanting to leave when something was always going bad, or to get out of something to make myself feel comfortable right away. So, allowing yourself to have those relationships. Yes. Highly recommend this book. so many different aspects of it, I think, just bring things to light to give you a different perspective or view on your situation. And yeah, I mean, that's allow relationships to help you heal. Like, like kind of like what, I know you, by the way. It's, how do you say your name? It's Antonio. Is it Antonio? Anthony. Okay. We've interacted on, yes. Yeah.
You just realized that?
No, I didn't. I knew it before, but I just wanted to bring it up. Anthony. I was like, I've never said your name out loud before.
Okay.
But allowing relationships, even though you think that they always say stay away from negative people. It's not like, interacting with negative or toxic people, but it's allowing those uncomfortable interactions between people to like help you grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Juice.
Right, on that note,
no politics.
no politics.
No.
On that note, I have some Hot Wheels tracks to build because my son is patiently waiting.
Aw.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was so nice meeting you all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for coming.
This is really awesome, guys. I want to connect with each and every one of you offline within the next couple of days. So look out for my DM.
Alrighty.
Sounds good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys too.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Okay.
You
You too.
Yeah.
And then there were 3. So, I was thinking about like the year. Usually at this time of year, I do a lot of reflecting because it's before years, and like my top things that I learned, my top aha moments, personal growth or career related. So I was wondering, what are those things for you guys? Like when you reflect back on 2019, what were your top moments and your aha moments, or your just like mind blown moments, lessons, testimonies?
I was
Good.
talking for a while, so you go ahead, Richard.
Okay.
Okay. So I feel like I need to find a better way to say this because I'm definitely I don't brag. I'm not a braggart. But I realized like this year I've passed multiple 7 figures, and and I'm not the guy to be flashy. Like trust me, if I had multiples of that, I would probably have the Porsche or some kind of crazy car. But like that's just not really me. At least not at this point in my life. I'm comfortable where I am, but I'm not very showy. So I'm not a braggy type of person. But and so that's what kind of surprised me when I realized, wow, like that's a huge milestone. And it kind of shook me up. It's like, man, you better wake up. Like, what are you doing? You should be more professional, more serious minded, more business. Like, and here I am, I'm a business consultant and all this kind of stuff. And I'm having this internal talk with myself. And that event, I think I shared with you, Tony, it was around my birthday. So this was like September, and I didn't get a card. And, but
A text message with a Bitmoji. Happy birthday. I'm sure I did.
So she's going to scroll her text now and find out.
I am.
So,
Tradition.
I know I said happy birthday.
You're gonna get the card.
yeah. So yeah, it'll be sometime. So anyway, like from then till now, it's like really affected my mindset, and I've totally changed. That's why I've started the Facebook group. With my marketing engine and the agency stuff that I've done, I have my own personal list of 400,000. I have completely started from scratch. I'm not using that because I see marketers all the time that say, create a product, mail it to your list, you'll make millions. And it's like, yeah, but when you're starting from nothing, like you don't have a list to mail it to, you don't even know how to put together a product. So I took it upon myself to not leverage any connections, not use my mailing list, any of that kind of stuff. What would it take for me to build from ground zero up? And so I started the Facebook group. I started an email list, and I have 400 on my email list now. And it took like 2 weeks of really hard hustle work. I've got 30 plus, I think, in the Facebook group. And now like I'm investing in doing these lives. So I've invested in 2 live platforms to do the streaming. If I can get on with LinkedIn, that would be great. If not, like I'm moving on. So like this mind shift has really affected me a lot. So to me, that's probably been the biggest thing family wise. So we've been married now in March. It will be 4 years. And this year feels like our family has hit our stride, where the petty things, the misunderstandings that turn into something, and then later you realize one of you didn't understand something correctly, like all that stuff is pretty much gone. And when something does happen, it's a lot easier to deal with, like minutes versus days, you know? So, like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm in the greatest moment of my life right now, all the way around. It's tops. I have really enjoyed where I am right now. I've got a great relationship with my son. We had a bumpy conversation the other day, but another good one is he's calling me, asking me for advice on building his business. And he's 22. So, you know, usually at this age, they still know better than their parents. But my son's relationship and it wasn't like that. Like we had a period where we were very disconnected, but like he's really impressed me a lot. He's my hero. If I could rewind and relive, like I would just want to be him, because he's got everything out in front of him and he's got a great attitude. So,
well, you must have raised him right.
That's awesome.
That's the scary part. Like he'll say, Dad, I ran into this situation today, and I remember when I was little, you told me this thing, and I'd be like, well, I don't even remember that. Like,
Yeah.
That's why, like, you just got to be there. You don't have to like you don't have to create special moments. You being there and just being you, talking and giving advice, just on the low key, like not in their face. Like you make that. Your kids will remember it. They grow up and they live all those words that you put into them. So.
Very cool. Well, thanks for sharing, Richard. And I'm sorry if I don't know if I sent you a happy birthday text. I couldn't find it. I could have sworn I said happy birthday. Anyway. Oh wait, it is here. I see it. Happy birthday. Anyways, I had some pretty big, I realized at the end of the year that I was changing so much. Like, I don't even think I could keep up with how much I was changing. Like, I was evolving and changing just a lot. Like, in my body, like, it was like physically, spiritually, everything was just changing, which was very difficult at times because I was getting really tired and it was hard to be productive. And I literally changed. There's 2 major things that I realized when I reflected last week. One was that I kept listening to everyone else because I was such in this transformation mode that I believe, because of one of my mentors and healers, that AHA stands for awareness, healing, and action. And I was in the awareness and I was taking the action and I was kind of doing the healing. But I wasn't really focusing on the healing. So when I realized that and really just focused on the healing and allowed myself to rest, that's when I saw the most transformation, and being okay with what my decisions are for my soul. Like I kept changing all of my plans to revolve around what everyone else was telling me but the thing was that I wasn't ready to step out yet. So, you know, in this physical world, we think, well, we've got to have a vocation, we've got to be making money. And I was just focused on like, okay, I've got this awareness, I want to put it into action and build my business. But the universe, God, spirit was not letting me do that because it wasn't coming from me and my soul. And so the biggest takeaways are, one, like I said, not escaping when that happens, like not trying to get away and just sitting with that. But also I realized that each time I changed, like I kept wanting to create a business idea around myself changing, but all those things that were changing were for me to realize what I truly wanted for myself. And finally, I got that clarity for myself and where I wanted to focus. And it just felt like this huge relief and this huge freedom. And I just kept narrowing that down more and more. And it was so focused, and that in itself makes me uncomfortable, like getting super niche and really focused, but around something that I really love and enjoy doing, which I'm not going to reveal quite yet, but those were my two biggest things. And Richard was a huge part of going, and he's witnessed a lot of it. Like, it's been a lot of ups and downs for me this year. So, but very transformational.
We started off this year with a bang, Tony and I. Like, we where we both were in life clashed. Like, we had met, Tony had come and spoke at one of my LinkedIn Live events. And we had stayed in touch, consulted back and forth. But the things we both needed to grow through, like, they hit each other, and it was a mess. And we didn't talk for a couple months, but then, like, when Tony reached back out, like, everything, we had both grown and developed and done the things that we needed to do internally, and things just started clicking. And Tony, I can definitely say I've seen a lot of growth, a lot of change in you this year, for sure.
Thanks. You too. Your turn.
Wow, that was really great. Changes and changing.
Top that.
Changing. I don't know if I can, but I don't need to, because we're all in our own lanes.
True.
When you started talking about changing, I thought about myself, and when I first decided to really seriously become an entrepreneur was in 2015. And I registered a business in New York, and I was like, all right, registered a business, got a website. I am an entrepreneur, and this is it. Not much of anything happened because I didn't know anything about being an entrepreneur. So didn't make any money, didn't have any clients. And then I started figuring out, okay, well, what do I need to do? In the past 5 years, every single year as an entrepreneur, I've been somewhere different in my life and been somewhere different emotionally, and even in like situations that I've been in. Like, at that point in time when I started that, I was actually married and married, so that tells you a lot changed. And I relocated, I moved to another state. I had to incorporate in Florida, but it's like each year I changed and I grew and I evolved, and I kept feeling like I had to fit into a box that people put me in.
Right.
Are you a therapist, or are you a coach? Are you a business coach? Are you a career coach? I kept feeling like I needed to be in a box. And first of all, I'm not traditional. I'm not a traditional therapist. I'm online, 100% online. And I incorporate different modalities. I incorporate journal writing. So I'm a little bit different than that, even though I'm trained in diagnosing and doing treatment plans. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to fit into a box there. And then I started working with a lot of career changers, careerpreneurs, and entrepreneurs have blown up because, like, I'm getting clients that would be like, yeah, I'm going through this stuff and getting on video. Like, coaches will encourage people to go on video, and why they're not going on video is they have social media anxiety. So it's deeper than just going on video. They might know what to do and how to do it, but they're not going to do it. So it was like, you know what, Seneca, just be everything that you are. You don't have to fit into any one specific box. Just be all of you. And when I did that this year, I noticed like my opportunities blew up. Got it? Those who got it. And they approached me, were like, listen, you're a therapist. You're talking about mental health. You're talking about entrepreneurship and career development and how they're tied together. They absolutely are. If we it's easy to be successful, right? And if you're successful and you're happy, right, you're going to sustain that over a period of time. So it just all goes together. So like my aha moment was like, just be yourself, Seneca, and don't get too hung up on trying to fit into the box. I'm also not the pin-up person that, is like buttoned up or whatever, and that's okay. There's some place for everyone. Everyone has their lane, so there's a coach like that, and then there are coaches like me that's like, well, could we have sessions outside, or could we have sessions on a beach, or on video, wherever, so it's like, okay. So my aha moment was just be okay flowing and being yourself. And then another thing is, like, I work with a lot of coaches. Like, I have probably paid college tuition for my education on business after college. And I realized at some point, when people who are coaches that, you know, I felt were either, I guess, above me or the same level, when they are telling me they want to either work with me or collaborate with me, I was like, okay, I need to step back and look at where I am and start leveraging my business and doing different things. Kind of like changing my mindset, like you were saying, Richard, like, okay, I'm here now. So now that I'm here, then I need to start, you know, behaving in a different way and thinking about things in a different way. Like, I have something that people want. And then the last thing was, are you guys familiar with Art Basel in Miami? Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's like
Gosh, it sounds familiar.
big art week. Like, people from all over the world to come look at art for like a whole week. They have events and parties and exhibits and all kinds of stuff. So it's like this huge thing, Art Basel. So this year in Art Basel, one of the exhibits was a banana taped to a wall with
Yes.
Mark Metry posted that, I think.
you heard of that, right?
Yes.
For me, it was like, you know what? Like, you were talking about being serious. Oh, there, yep, there it goes, Art Basel, yeah. So for me, it was like, you're talking about being serious, and you know, everyone's trying to come out to Art Basel with their greatest creation, right? And like this magnificent piece that they designed, and someone decided, I'm going to tape a banana to a wall and I'm going to sell it. And it sold for $120,000.
Until it got eaten.
And then it was eaten by another artist who called himself a performance artist.
Right.
And then it was eaten. So, I mean, it's like a funny joke, but I was like, this is it. Like,
Oh my gosh.
literally a banana. I was like, listen, sometimes I think we take ourselves so seriously, which is good. But at the same time, there's someone for you out there. So you're hiding, thinking I have to be like this person or that person or create like this one or that one. Your people are out there, and they're going to find you, and they're going to pay for it, even if it's a banana.
Oh my gosh.
So that was the thing. And like the last speaking engagement I had with the Women's Fund, I sat up there and I'm sitting next to like the director of NAMI, National Alliance Against Mental Illness, and like this police officer and the director of this mental health facility. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to speak from my heart and be transparent and talk to the audience and not talk at them. I'm going to try that approach. And it was a gamble because imposter syndrome can creep up at any time, depending on who you're around. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, the director of the Women's Fund is there and she's like phenomenal. She's worked with like Sandra from the Lean In, and, you know, who was it with? Huffington Post, Ariana Huffington. Like, she's worked with these people. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to try this approach. I'm going to just talk to the audience. I'm not going to use like statistics or figures or try to sound like the rest of the panel. And it worked. And they were like, oh my God, that was so amazing. And I was like, really? Okay. So I learned that I'm just going to be myself, and I'm either your cup of tea or I'm not your cup of tea. And that is okay.
Right. Richard, I'm trying to share a picture of me with a banana. Can you see it?
No, I don't see
yes.
the picture. Ah!
I love that story, Seneca, because it's so funny. I found that, I might prepare for, when I speak and everything, but I get up there and like once it's done, it's like I kind of forget even what I just did or said or sang. And they're like, it's great. And I think when you like speak from your soul and your heart, like that's when people like resonate and like they feel your emotion and it's sincere. And I love that you did that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it wasn't just like blah, you know, I'll like, like my bullet points and my topics
Right.
I want to talk about, but it's the way how I talk about it, you know, that connects with people, you know,
Right.
telling them like, you know, 1 in 5 people has a mental health disorder, you know. I shared with them how I would go to offices to do corporate training. And at those corporate trainings, each and every person in that room identified that at some point they needed therapy or they need therapy right now.
Mm.
That when you go to work and you're in your cubicle, most likely that person next to you at the water cooler, on the elevator, is someone that's going through something. That sounds
Right.
different than 1 in 5 people has a mental health disorder.
Right.
Mhm.
Hey, Richard, I gotta get going. I have to go pee first of all, and I'm hungry.
TMI.
So,
Tony
Merry
Bug, folks.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus.
It was so great speaking with you guys, and we'll have to connect offline too, Seneca. I'd love to speak with you. So
Absolutely.
I might be coming down to Florida.
South Florida, like
Yeah, I actually lived in Miami for a little bit, and then I've got a lot of friends all throughout Florida. So that might be happening at some point this year. So we'll have to get together and do a video.
of course. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy your Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Tony.
Thank you, Richard, for doing this. You're awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye. And then there were 2.
Yes.
No, this was really great. This is wonderful. Hopefully, the audience that's looking at this, they got something today. They were connected. Maybe they were reflecting.
Yeah, we've had some visits, and some people have not said anything. Like I could watch the live stats of how many are viewing. And I don't know if you'd noticed, like sometimes while you guys were talking, I'd flip to another screen and I'm looking like per channel, how many people are on different channels. So not everybody was commenting, but they were
Always,
definitely viewing.
and it's okay.
Yep. We could definitely end now because we've gone over our time. I really appreciate you coming in, the words of wisdom that you've added, and your experiences. This has been really, really beneficial.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. This is very different. And any other time, I'm open to it. I'm here. So
Awesome.
You enjoy your Christmas as well.
Already, you too.
All right. Take care, everyone. Merry Christmas. Bye.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.